Hey everybody, okay, so last week we planned and wrote a movie review, if you recall. Now we're working the same set of slides, but this week we're using our movie review and we are going to do mini lessons and revise and edit it, okay? Now I'm going to show you how to access our mini lesson. I'm going to work through the lesson with you and then I'm going to come back and make those changes on my movie review so that you can see that. Okay, so for Monday, you're only working on this slide today, on slide 11, and on the slide that has your movie review, okay? So, Monday, you're going to click here for parts of an argument, which is our mini lesson for today. The goal is that you can include CER, which is claims, evidence, reasoning, in my movie review. So your steps: watch the video will be there shortly, and look through the resources provided. Click here to make changes to your draft. So this link will take you directly to where your draft is if you don't want to scroll up and down. And then part of your final grade will be whether or not you included these revisions. Okay? So you have to make the changes that we discussed in our mini lesson to get credit. Let's check it out. Okay. So Monday. I can identify the claim, evidence, and reasoning in my own writing. So first, let's remember what is claim, evidence, and reasoning. In our writing, we need to have our summary of the movie, so a quick description of the plot, characters, conflict, theme, and tone. Then we have our claim. Our claim is what the author believes about a topic. It's one sentence. So remember, you're saying, I think that The Princess Bride is an outstanding movie, or don't even say I think. The Princess Bride is an outstanding movie. So that's my opinion, okay? So that's my claim. Then I have evidence to back it up. Evidence, those are the examples and proof that my claim is true. And then reasoning. Reasoning is me explaining to you how my evidence supports my claim. How my examples back up what I'm claiming, that The Princess Bride is an outstanding movie. So these are elements you have to have in your movie review, and if you remember from last week, you should have already written them because we broke it down in planning for you. Now let's look at an example. Okay, so we're looking at an example of a Despicable Me review, and I'll read you the review and then we'll talk about the different parts. Most animated family-friendly movies use the same plot elements. The main characters have to overcome obstacles in pursuit of their goal or solving their problems. Most often, there's also a main bad guy to defeat. But what if the antagonist was the main character? Despicable Me is a perfect example of a family comedy animation that was rated certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with an 82% rating. Despicable Me is interesting to watch due to high-quality humor and interesting characters and, of course, the minions. In this film, it tells the story of a bad guy's gradual transformation into a loving father. Gru, voiced by Steve Carell, dreams of becoming the most famous criminal, but is burning with jealousy caused by the success of his opponent, Vector, who managed to steal the pyramid of Chop. Gru decides to steal the moon. In order to do this, he must continue to face his nemesis Vector. With the help of his 3 newly adopted girls, he plans on using to sneak into Vector's lair. He does not know that this will change his entire evil genius career and give him a family he didn't even know he needed. Despicable Me is funny from the beginning until the ending credits. There's a combination of funny adventures to bad jokes. From Steve Carell's terrible accent to the funny minions, you can't help but laugh at this film. The humor helps create balance between the criminal adventures and heartfelt family moments between Gru and his daughters. The creators managed to create realistic and interesting character types. A nasty-looking but kind Gru, open-hearted and clever girls Margot, Edith, and Agnes, sinister Mr. Perkins, the head of the bank of supervillains, the funny but impudent Vector, Dr. Nefario delved into his research, and of course the minions. These help the audience connect and believe the story being told. Though the plot is rather predictable, watching these characters interact and get out of funny situations is what makes Despicable Me such a perfect movie for the whole family. Okay, so there's our brief movie review. And if you remember from last week, we have our intro and our little claim. We have a summary. So we have about 5 paragraphs. We have evidence and reasoning, and a conclusion. Okay, so our claim up here, our author is saying Despicable Me is interesting to watch due to high quality humor and interesting characters, and of course the minions. So we have our claim, Despicable Me is interesting to watch, and we combine that with our reasons, because there's high quality humor and interesting characters. Now we have our summary. It's telling us pretty much what happened, and now I want you to notice that this summary, because most of us have seen Despicable Me, the summary is not extremely detailed. You just want the important points for a summary. You don't want to dig into deep detail because you're just giving somebody a general idea of what the movie's about, not telling it in great detail. And then we come down, we have 2 paragraphs that have evidence and reasoning. So we look at the yellow evidence. From Steve Carell's terrible accent to the funny minions, you can't help but laugh. So we're trying to make people think about how terrible his accent is and how funny the minions are. And that is what helps us to laugh and find the comedy in this film. So that's our evidence. Steve Carell has a bad accent, and the minions are funny. And then we come down here, and this sentence tells us how this evidence supports our claim. The humor helps create a balance between the criminal adventures and heartfelt family moments between Gru and his daughters. So the author is explaining why they decided to talk about the humor. Our second piece of evidence. The creators managed to create realistic and interesting character types. A nasty-looking but kind Gru, open-hearted and clever pearls, Margot Edith. So we're talking about all the characters here, okay? That's our second reason up here says interesting characters. So our writer lists the characters as evidence and kind of gives them a brief description: sinister, clever, open-hearted. So listing just brief descriptions or characteristics of each character alongside their names, and then our writer explains. These help the audience to connect and believe the story being told. So having these characters helps our audience to connect to the story. Okay, and then we have our conclusion, which we're not concerned about at the moment, so I'm not going to discuss it. So we discussed claim, summary, evidence and reasoning, And then we're going to come down here. Now it's your turn. So you're going to go back into your movie review draft. It's either slide 9 or slide 3, and it'll say in your slides which it is. And you're going to highlight the following. If you do not have these elements, you have to add them and then highlight them. So, summary. Give a quick description of the plot, characters, conflict, theme, and tone. Highlight your claim, highlight your evidence, highlight your reasoning. Okay, so whenever we were in our slides, this clicked open a new tab. I want you to leave this open in case you need to reference it and come back over to your example. I'm going to click right here to take me to my rough draft. So I want to highlight, let's see what color. First I'm doing summary is like this reddish color. So my summary, where I'm describing my movie, is right here. Let's see, that color looks good. And I'm coming, what's my claim? What am I claiming to be true? Everyone should watch the movie The Princess Bride. That's my claim. Everyone needs to watch this because, here's my reasons, it's full of comedic genius, and the storyline and writing is very unique. I believe this one is highlighted turquoise. No, it's green. Let me make sure I get this right for you guys. Okay, excuse the bell ringing. Okay, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to highlight my evidence and reasoning. These kind of go together, the yellow and the gray. So, first my evidence. The first reason everyone should watch Princess Bride is that comedy is exceptional. So here's, its comedy is exceptional. Has comedic stars such as Billy Crystal and Rob Reiner. That's my evidence. That's a fact, right? These guys took part in the film. So I'm going to highlight that one yellow. That's my evidence. And then I'm going to come in. When stars like this, and this is my explanation, have been performing comedy for years, they come together, make a film, their strengths help the comedy to improve. So that's my gray. Okay. So then I'm going to come down here because I have another paragraph, so I need to find my evidence and my reasoning again. So The Princess Bride takes an ordinary hero's tale and makes it extraordinary with its unique writing style. The writer, William Goldman, won multiple, so here's my evidence, facts, of films giving him a unique take on the story. So my evidence is yellow, and then my reasoning, when someone has this much experience with a variety of movie genres, they can create a unique storyline even when working with basic story structure, and there is my explanation. Great. Oh, I need to make that darker gray. Okay. So, evidence, reasoning, I'm going to make my reasoning the same color so there's no confusion. So then we come back to our instructions in our mini lesson. I highlighted summary, claim, evidence, and reasoning. So at this point, my tasks for my rough draft today are done, okay? So make sure you have all these elements. If you did not have any of them, you need to add them and then highlight them. If you have questions, please ask. Please ask your teacher. We are here to help you. That's what we do. We hope you have a lovely day. Please don't work ahead. We're going to work on our Tuesday tasks tomorrow.